Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Hope you will be fine. In the previous classes, or you can say topics, we have studied about the need of transport system. Then we read about the blood, composition of blood, and which type of cells are present in the blood, and also the composition of plasma. Then we studied about the functions of blood. Okay, so if there is any problem in those topics, you can ask. Today we are going to start the next topic, that is the circulatory system. Okay, I have already told you that we need a transport system, and the transport system is to maintain a link between our internal cells and tissues and between the external environment. And the medium of transport in our body is blood. So blood flows in our body, it moves from one part of our body to another part, it supplies food material from one part of our body to other, it transports waste material from the cells and tissues to the organ from where they have to be removed from the body. So the system is which is doing all these functions in our body is called our transport system or blood circulatory system. Okay. Now, our circulatory system consists of main pumping organ, and that pumping organ is heart. Okay, and it consisting of a network of vessels. Those vessels which are taking blood away from the heart are called arteries, and the vessels which are bringing back blood to the heart are called veins. Okay, so our transport system is consisting of number one, the heart, which is the main pumping organ. Then the arteries are the vessels which carry blood away from the heart, and the capillaries which are between arteries and veins are the vessels which are bringing blood back to the heart. For example, here you can find in this diagram that main arteries, they divide into smaller arterioles which further divide into small capillaries. So capillaries are very thin, or you can say one cell thick mean very thin. So at this level, exchange of material occur between the cells and between the capillaries. Okay, then these capillaries again rejoin and they make small veins which are called venules, and these venules combine and make larger veins which bring blood back to the heart. So capillaries are the vessels which are present, or which are the connection between arteries and veins. And in case of human being and all higher organism, blood always remain close in the vessels, and that is called a closed circulatory system. Okay, capillary, here you can see they are very thin. So one cell thick mean very thin, and a large or a broad lumen is present through which material can exchange. And capillaries are selectively permeable. Selectively permeable mean small colorless fluid, liquid, digested food, waste material, oxygen, carbon dioxide can pass across these capillaries. Okay, and blood cells, for example, red blood cells, they never come out, they always remain in the capillaries. Yes, white blood cells, I already told you that they can come out from the capillaries. Okay, now the most important topic of this chapter is that the difference between arteries. So here the difference is given, what it is given what are the arteries. So I already told you that arteries are the vessels which carry blood away from the heart. So the very important topic of this chapter is the difference between arteries and veins. So here I am going to explain you the difference between arteries and veins. Okay, as you know, as blood contracts, as the heart contracts, blood goes into the arteries. Okay, so arteries walls are very thick to sustain the pressure which is created by the contraction of the heart. For example, so here I am making an artery. So this one, for example, is an artery. So this one is the outer connective tissue layer uh, of artery. Then this one is that layer. Then inside it a thick muscular layer, a very thick muscular layer. So here this one you can say this one is a thick muscular layer. Why? Because to sustain the pressure, because due to this here a layer of endothelium is present, internal, you can say thin wall layer, internal layer, which is the innermost layer of these, which is called endothelium, and this cavity is called lumen. Okay, so in arteries the lumen is narrow and blood flows with pressure. The reason of this muscular layer is as heart contracts. For example, I'm making this one is a heart, this one is right side of heart, this one is left side of heart, these are two auricles, this one is ventricle, and here you can see this is the muscular layer. Okay, now as the heart will contract, blood will go into, for example, from this side, left side, blood will go into the aorta, which is the largest artery. So as ventricle contracts, the blood goes with pressure into the artery. So the whole pressure will be here on the wall of the artery. So there should be a muscular wall, so which can sustain pressure. As for example, this one is the artery. As blood will go with pressure, so it will dilate. Okay, so it will dilate, so maximum blood can pass through this lumen, and when blood will pass through it, then it will recoil and again the lumen will become narrow. So wall of the artery is very elastic, so it can dilate, it can recoil, it can dilate, it can recoil, so it can bear maximum pressure. So for that reason this layer is very consisting of a thick layer of muscles, so it is very elastic. So walls of arteries always very elastic as compared to arteries. For example, I'm making this a vein. In vein the pressure is very low, so they don't need to be thick. Okay, so they don't need to be thick, so it is a thin outer layer of connective tissue. Okay, then a thin layer of muscles is present, a very thin layer of muscles, and here you can see the lumen is very wide. What is lumen? Lumen is the hole inside that through which blood is passing. So here you can see a thin layer of muscles is present, due to which pressure is very less. Here this lumen is very narrow and blood is moving with full pressure here. So in arteries blood will move always with maximum pressure, while in case of veins the pressure is very low. As this from this the blood will be distributed into the whole body. Ultimately from body blood will come here through inferior vena cava here into this right side, and from here the upper body part through superior vena cava. These are the largest veins in the body. So as blood is moving with less pressure, as I told you that between arteries and veins there is a connection present through capillaries. Here I told you. So in the arteries pressure is very high. As it divided into arterioles, so pressure is much decreased, and as it is divided into a further network of capillaries, so the pressure is very least here. As so here ample time is given for the exchange of material. Then these are capillaries combine and make venules. Further pressure is decreased from venules into vein. The pressure is very less. Even here into the inferior vena cava the pressure is nearly zero before as it is entering. So here maximum or mostly blood return to the heart due to the muscular movement of the body. So what are the main differences between arteries and vein? For the first very important difference, arteries are the vessels which carry blood away from the heart. So here you can see blood is moving away. So arteries are the vessels which carry blood away from the heart. Veins are the vessels which are bringing blood back to the heart. This one is vein. So veins are the vessels which are bringing blood back to the heart. Okay. Secondly, arteries carry oxygenated blood it is containing oxygen, so it is distributing to the whole body. Veins are bringing deoxygenated blood, except what is mean by except here you can see here the from whole body blood is coming into the this right side of the heart, so it is deoxygenated. From here blood is going into ventricle, from ventricle blood is moving here into the pulmonary arch and arteries. Okay, why in pulmonary arch? Pulmonary arch mean this area is taking the blood to the lungs. This pulmonary artery is taking blood to the lungs of both side of the heart. Okay, so it is going into the lungs. Why in lungs? So this deoxygenated blood can be refreshed, can be changed into oxygenated blood. Okay, so pulmonary, all remember one thing, all arteries carry oxygenated blood except the pulmonary artery. This one is pulmonary artery. These are pulmonary artery which are taking the blood to the lungs. Okay, so pulmonary arteries are the only artery which carry deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood mean the blood which is having a lesser percentage of oxygen. Okay, then from lungs veins are coming here which are called pulmonary vein. Pulmonary is related to lungs, so these pulmonary veins are coming to the left side of the heart, into the left auricle. So, and remember one thing, all veins carry deoxygenated blood, as here you can see superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, they are bringing deoxygenated blood, but just the pulmonary veins are the only veins which are bringing oxygenated blood. Okay, so one thing, arteries are the vessels which carry blood away from the heart, veins which are bringing blood back to the heart. Then arteries carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery, veins carry deoxygenated blood except pulmonary vein. And number 3, the wall of the arteries are thick and elastic, while the walls of the vein is less thick, or you can say thin and less elastic. Here you can see the lumen is narrow. Here you can see the lumen is this cavity lumen is very wide. So as in artery blood is moving with pressure, so there is no problem of backward flow of the blood. So in case of veins, the blood is moving with very less pressure, so blood can move back. So to prevent backward flow of the blood, here in the veins, for example this one is a vein, so in the veins, to prevent backward flow of the blood, here semilunar valves are present. Valve mean you can see here valves are present which are preventing the backward flow of the blood. If blood is moving in this direction, then these valve will open like this. They are of the shape of small or you can say like moon, so it is called, so semi mean half, lunar mean moon, so they are of shape of half moon. Okay, so here this valve will open and blood will flow in this direction, but if blood is coming back, then these valve will be closed and backward flow of blood is not possible. So in arteries valves are absent, while in veins valves are present to prevent backward flow of the blood. Then one more thing about these, this was the difference between artery and vein. Capillaries are also, I told you, it is a connection between arteries and veins. So here exchange of material can occur. So in the capillary, lumen is also very wide, and here just cells are present which are one cell thick, mean very thin. So here you can see one cell thick these cells. So at this level exchange is possible between cells and tissues because its wall is semi permeable and its lumen is wide. So blood is also moving here with very less pressure. So this is very important topic, so you also have to write it in your notebook, the difference between arteries, veins and capillary, and you also have to draw its diagram. Okay, Allah Hafiz.